Crikey me, Neal. 2 weeks in a row, you managed to do it again. What do you make of that?
To be honest with you, I'm a bit flat. I know it's brilliant that we've come back again, but we shouldn't be in that position in the first place. I don't think I've ever been as disappointed with a first half. Not as in they were miles better than us, but the naivety and the stupidity that led to both their goals in a game that there was nothing really in it. And, we just got to stop doing that sort of thing because it's so hard to win games away from home when you're 2-0 down.
Yeah, rarely do you make changes that early. 2 changes at half-time and then another relatively early in the second half. Me and Stal in commentary were saying exactly that. You must be really angry with how this is going to make those changes when you did. Yeah,
I had to change shape. I had to try something. I had to throw caution to the wind. But it's not tactics. We're not playing Football Manager here. It's not. The manager should have started with what he did in the second half. It's nothing to do with that. It's they come out high intensity in our faces, and we have to deal with that. And we did to a degree. It was a battle. It was a scrappy game. It's just then managing the game. And if we keep it tight and we don't do anything stupid in that first half away from home, we probably go and win the game. But we do. We give. You can't give 2 goals away and. It's easy to chase a game when you're 2-0 down.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that it was such a poor start and so error-ridden? There's got
to be consistency in performances. We praised the lads on Saturday. They were great. So we more or less stick with the same team that we had available, same system, everything the same. They tweaked theirs slightly, but nothing that we shouldn't have been able to deal with. But we didn't get the same performances in the first half, and even in the second half at times the passing was loose and it's just stuff that's not good enough and they're good players. They're technically good players. It's a mentality. I'm having to drive people on in the second half. I've never worked so hard to try and get a result in a game as a manager. I shouldn't have to work this hard on the side of the pitch. But, I can only praise them for the fact they have come back and they should have gone and won it. But we shouldn't be in that position in the first place.
Yeah, so have you got not all of them, but have you got a changing room full of nice boys?
No, I don't think nice boys. I just think, if they're honest with themselves in every way, we've got to raise the standards again. Every day in training, I'm a big believer, Monday to Friday. I know we can barely train at the moment with the amount of games, but every detail, whether it's the players who haven't started games that are with Greg and he's having to, tell them to liven up in training, stuff like that, passing drills, simple passing drills we're loose on. We've got to get all of that stuff back to where it was before. And it can't just be me and Greg driving the sessions, me and Greg's driving the standards. The lads have got to do it. And that's what I just told them in there. I'm fed up of having to work so hard to change and try something to get us back in the game. And that's what it is. We changed shape and it got us back in the game. And I'm fed up of having to do it.
So what did you've told them that in the changing room after the game. What's the mood like in there? Because, crikey, they could have gone on and won the game.
Yeah, but we didn't. And coulda, woulda, shouldas, all that kind of stuff. We're not in the results. We're not in the game for, we should have done this. Didn't we do well? We're in the results industry and we know that. And I know that. And, that's a game out there. If we manage the first half better, not that they were better than us, if we manage it better and we don't do stupid things, then we come in at 0-0, we go and win that game. I'm sure we go and win that game. But at 2-0 down, you're likely to lose it.
So why angrier this week than last week at Boreham Wood? Because 2 fairly similar situations, poor for the first hour or so at Boreham Wood, poor for a similar amount of time this evening at Yeovil, but you come back in both of them and you get a 2-2 draw. Why so much angrier this evening than last week?
Well, because we were finding our feet again last week. We'd only just gone away to Wildstone. We'd had a little sticky spell. I think since then we've put in, the last 30 minutes at Boreham Wood. Most of the game at home to Yeovil was good and strong and disciplined. And you think, right, we're back in a good place now. And then you come out and you think, right, I'll put the same team out. I'll get the same performance, the same levels. The boys are in a good place. And you don't. And as a manager, and I'm sure as fans, I'm just as frustrated. And then all of a sudden you go out and you see a different group of players, a different performance, people not winning the headers they were winning on Saturday against the same player they were playing against on Saturday. And that's the bit, we've got to have consistency. And that's probably why I'm a bit upset and angry. There's no confidence issues excuse. We're 3 unbeaten coming into today and we've just beaten the opponents. But, they come out sort of more at it in the first half and we were naive.
Do you feel like, I don't know if sorry Neal, you might have just moved out into an area where it's particularly windy, so I might just be struggling to hear you a little bit compared to what we were doing a bit earlier. But to go back to my question, do you feel like your team suffers from this erratic consistency or a lack of consistency any more than other teams at this level, or is it kind of par for the course?
It's probably, we don't probably suffer any more than any teams at this level, but the long and short is we're trying to get in that top 1, top 2, top 3, whatever we're trying to achieve, and we have to be better than the majority of the teams at this level, and we have to put the odds in our favour week on, week out, particularly when we're going through a fixture list like we are, and that needs consistency in performances, consistency in decision making, not giving silly goals away from set plays. I mean, their first goal, we've got a throw in their corner, and we've got everybody up ready for another long throw to ask a question of them. We throw it short, we give it away, we chase our tails to defend, and 2 corners later we're 1-0 down. And that's the sort of game management that we've let ourselves down on today.
Do you expect more from your group than lapses like that? It sounds like a daft question, but I ask it in the sense of, with the experience that you've got out there, with the players that you've got out there that have played at such higher levels than this, do you expect more than naivety like that?
I have to. Of course we have to. You know, if we want to achieve where we want to go, we have to. And I'm not throwing lads under the bus. I care about the boys and I'll give them everything I possibly can. But I have to expect more, and they have to expect more. And, we need to manage situations. Well, sometimes you play okay, it's a scrappy game, you win 1-0. That could have been tonight quite comfortably, like the Wealdstone game where we controlled the game. Today, we found ourselves 2-0 down, and we have to expect more. We're Notts County. We're the fans are expecting promotion. I'm expecting promotion, or not expecting, being cocky about it. I'm hoping that's where we'll end up, but we've got to rule out chasing games all the time.
Jimmy Knowles comes on, Ruben Rodriguez comes on. Jimmy in particular, I know Ruben gets the equaliser, but Jimmy comes on and pulling out onto that right-hand side offers you some great width, and he plays really well out there. And we see, and we have seen on a few occasions this season, your substitutes come on and play really well and change the game for 20 minutes at a time, 25 minutes at a time. They then earn themselves a start, and rarely is that sort of performance then replicated and stretched out over 90 minutes. Do you think that is a fair criticism?
Yep, who'd be a manager, eh?
Quite.
You know, that's the thing, because people come on and do great, and then fans go, "Oh, he did great. Let's start him the next week. We start him the next week. We don't get the same level of performance." And that's the same for the team. Done great on Saturday. I stuck by him, said, right, we'll go again. Same team, same shape, everything. Don't need to change anything. Don't need to try and be clever. Want the same performance. Want the same intensity. And who'd be a manager? Because, obviously, it's down to a manager all the time, and you can't motivate them anymore in there. They're pumped up, they're ready to go out there and deliver, and time and time again you're guessing what you're going to get, and that shouldn't be right if we're going to get where we want to go.
Do you think that you'll get to that point where this group will start to motivate themselves as we get closer to the end of the season? Do you think you'll get to a position where you, as you said, you never worked so hard as a manager? Do you think you'll get to a point with this current group where you will be able to work a little bit less?
Who knows? And I don't think it's motivation with the group. It's certainly not that. It's probably mentality rather than motivation. The boys are pumped up. They want to do well. It's just, and sometimes, like I say, that little bit of arrogance comes in if things are going well, and that's what the boys have got to do. They've got to carry that in. But like I say, once they cross that white line, I can only, I demand from them. I'll kick them up the backsides. I'll do everything. I push them. I expect. But I also don't moan at them for trying to pass the ball and want the ball and want to play. You know that because of my playing style. So, they've got to step up to the plate, and I'll try and help them to do it. But at the same time, I can't come in front of you guys and talk and say I'm not disappointed tonight.